Hello everybody, welcome back. We are on episode 11 today and do a little cleaning around here and we can get started doing some work. But first, the fun stuff. We've got a package in the mail. Let's open this up. And it's an Eco Guard. Eco Guard. So here's my train of thought. That's not big enough. Yeah. The dimensions that I read in the package were different size. I'm thinking this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to end up doing an air filter like this, a flat one, on that intake manifold, the bug catcher air scoop. But this is not big enough. I need a little bit longer. I like the width, but I need the length to be a little bit longer, I think. I'm going to go ahead and try this in the base of that air filter, or in the base of the bug catcher on the car. I'll have to take that off and try it, but this is the idea. I want to, instead of having the 2 round or 1 round little bitty air filter like what I showed you earlier in the last video, I'm looking at maybe making a holder to hold one of these in there so I can get more air through. I don't want to choke it down because I got a little bitty air cleaner that chokes off my carburetors. And yeah, I went on Amazon and the dimensions said one thing, and yeah, it was supposed to be rectangle, not square. I'll take a look at it. Let's see what I can do. It's one of those things where I don't know what filter I need. I just have to try to find one with the right dimensions. And okay, we're gonna retry that. I might end up going to the parts store and just going through boxes and finding one that'll fit the dimensions that will work. But the idea is I'm gonna build a frame that will hold one of those filters inside of the air scoop itself. So the air is gonna come across and be able to go through this filter in a large rectangle, and that funnels down to the carburetor, and that's the goal. But meanwhile, I did go by the store. I picked up this piece of stainless rod because the linkage needs to be a little longer, and I said stainless. This is actually just regular steel, I think. Yes, plate steel round. So this is regular steel that I can thread and make into a longer arm for the linkage that opens the butterfly valve. I did pick up 2 sheets of metal, and I picked up a few cutoff wheels for my angle grinder. And so at my disposal I have this to cut with. I know this cuts well and it cuts really fast, but I burn through these blades quick. The die grinder, I can use it, but those blades cut really slow. And I do have one other thing, and this is what I'm going to try. If I have enough room, I'm going to take that piece from the bottom of the air filter, the cardboard piece that I made up on the last video, and I'm going to take the pieces out and lay it out on the sheet metal, trace it, and if I have enough room that I can practice, I'm going to break out this plasma cutter I have. The plasma cutter is a cheap one, knockoff China brand. It was the cheapest one I could find on the internet. I've used it once before, but it really cut jagged like a torch. I'm going to try a couple techniques and see if I can't cut a straight line. If I can, I'll use it. It'd be a lot faster than burning a bunch of these wheels. Anyways, so first things first, I'm going to take that air cleaner off, turn it upside down and get it over here, see how this air filter fits and how much larger I need to go. And then I will take that bottom piece apart and build a sheet metal one. So let's just get to it. All right, everybody, so I'm trying to get myself set up here to where I've got some steel up here on top of my workbench that I'm going to be doing the cutting on, so it doesn't burn into a wood workbench. And I'm going to try and use my plasma cutter and get a nice straight edge. This first piece I'm going to try and cut is just going to be something I'm going to use for a bracket, something that'll give me tensile strength, not really support strength. Anyways, I'll make a practice cuts before I try and cut with the plasma cutter on my original pieces. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to go to a grinder and I'm going to cut it out. It's going to be noisy and throw sparks everywhere, but this is going to throw sparks on the ground. And yeah, first things first, the tennis shoes have got to go. I have to have leather shoes on to do this, because molten metal on some cheap tennis shoes, yeah, I'll be dancing over here with little balls of molten metal in my shoes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try that. Let's see if we can get this thing to cut a nice straight edge. Okay, so I've got them cut out, and I kind of had to learn how to use a plasma cutter, since I've used it once in the past and it was a long time ago. But watching videos and stuff, I kind of got a gist of how things go. Let me show you one of the first pieces I cut. I don't know how well y'all can see. It's a straight line. It did good. The free hand is a little rough right there, but the straight line is real good. But looking at the front edge, it's going to need some little cleaning up. This outside edge, let me show you this one. This outside edge here is the factory edge that came from the store, and so is this edge here. This edge I had to cut myself, and it needs a little cleaning up, but it'll do real nice. So doing that, I was kind of cheating and getting the edges I know that had to meet a straight edge on the air cleaner. I knew those were going to be important. So now what I've got to do is I've got to weld this stuff up, but it's not like the tape. You can't just weld 3 of these sides together and just bend it to fit. I can tack weld and bend a tack weld a little bit, but then again, you can't bend a tack weld too far. It'll just break right back off. That's the whole point of just tack welding it. You can break it off if it's not right. But this is a cool little piece right here. It's the center out of all those pieces that I just cut. And yes, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and that does look like something of one of those, the explosion map of what a planet would do once the Death Star took care of it, you know? Like, I like that. That's kind of cool. Anyways, I've got this piece cut. It's the neck piece. I got to bend it into a circle, and I do have a 1/4" dowel rod. I was thinking I might need that, but I don't know if that edge is wide enough to sit on top of the carburetor. Anyways, I've got some more stuff to cut, but I want to tack weld this stuff together. And I don't know if y'all can hear, it is really windy outside, so I got to shut the garage door to get the rest of this to work. So yeah. All right, I'm going to clean these edges up, get all that slag ground off, and then I'm going to weld it together. Let's see how that looks. Hey, we're in day 2 of this episode, and I've been working hard. I've been trying to get some stuff done, and I've kind of got the base part already made. It took me a lot of times of just I'd get 2 of these together and welded, and then I found out that I had to cut a little extra off and then add the next piece and so on. So it was a cut some, then weld it on, take the next piece, check it, it needed some cut off, and back and forth motion there. So where I'm at right now is to make it look good, you know, I'm not the perfect welder, and I'll let you see there. So I've got my weld, and what I'm doing is I'm grinding it smooth to where it's nice. So I'm probably going to paint this like a silver color, but one of my worries was when I grind all these welds off like this to make it nice, that it was going to be weak, because it's going to be holding this big air scoop and the wind's going to be hitting it. So on the inside, I've tacked it so it has support on the inside. The inside's not going to be seen, so yeah. Anyways, I got to grind these welds down on these 3 also, and I've got this piece here made. I've got to make it into a loop to go as what sits on top of the air cleaner. And once I've got the loop made for the air cleaner, I'm going to be taking, let's see if I've got, I'm going to have a loop like this, and then I'm going to take a piece and it's going to run across the center of the loop, and I'm going to weld in a little pipe of some type or something, maybe a large nut or something, so I'll have something to cinch this down onto the carburetor, in the center of the carburetor. That is designed to hold there. I'm also going to make some straps, and they're going to have a hole drilled, and it's going to be bolted to the bottom side of the air cleaner up here and down here onto the intake manifold to keep the wind from pulling it up off the carburetor. So yeah, these are the ones I practiced with. I was just trying to make strips with. I've got that to do, I've got these to do, and I'm just trying to work through it as fast as I can. This episode might be a little bit short because I don't know. I'm going to have to bend this into a loop, and it's 16 gauge, so it's kind of heavy. I want to do the best I can. I need it nice and round, and this is the actual size it needs to be, so I got to find a way to make this end start to bend right at the beginning, and this end, and get it to where it meets itself. Nice round circle that it fits on the carburetor. A lot of work. Not very much actually getting completed because it's a lot. It's a tedious little stuff. And then I've got to finish cutting this hole out to where it fits that loop. I don't want to start cutting this until I get the loop and I test it and it does fit the carburetor, and then I'll set it up here and cut a little, and then try it again, cut a little more. That way I don't have to add metal. Anyways, that's just a little update. Probably just a lot more grinding and try to get this bent today, and then we'll move on to the next episode. But let's see what I can do here. Maybe I'm gonna try some slow motion video for y'all guys. I hope it's working out. I don't know yet until I get to the editing phase, but we'll get there. Let's see how this goes. Okay, as you can see, I've got 2 pipes here, and just wide enough my finger gets through. And what I did is I secured them in the bench vise here, and I just slowly but surely have been walking it around and bend a little, move it in some, bend a little. This seems to be working. I like this. I feel like I have some control of it. We'll see how it goes once we get to the end, and I don't have a perfect circle. I'm going to have to massage a lot of stuff out, but I just want to show y'all what I'm doing here, and I'll pull the camera around so you can see a different angle. And yeah, I'm just using it to kind of bend on it. I do have an old brake and roller combo, but it's packed away in the shed, and I need a shop pretty bad so that I don't have to go back and forth to the shed. But it's got a roller on it, but I think it only does up to 20 gauge, and this is 16, so this is a little too heavy for it. But yeah, let me see what this does. Maybe I can get this to, it's not that hard. I thought it was going to be way harder than this. So anyways, I'm just going to keep rolling on this and see how this works. Here, got all my edges smoothed out like I like them, and I've actually got that to fit in. Nice round hole cut. That took a lot of time of me actually, once I've got this together and I welded it here. It took me a lot of time just going in with this grinder and cutting out the hole a little bit bigger here and there. Set this thing back up here, find out what's touching, and then mark it. I was using a little Sharpie, and I'd mark it and grind more. I've got a couple of gaps here that are pretty large. I'll have to turn down my welder so it's not burning as hot, and it'll fill instead of blow through. Otherwise, I think the gap is close enough. I'm going to weld this all the way around real good. The only part I'm worried about is this side over here, where I've got such a thin piece. Yeah, I'm just gonna blow right through that. It's gonna, yeah. So what I'm gonna have to do is, I think I'm gonna take a 1/4 inch dowel rod, something about this size, and end up putting it along this bottom edge all the way around and cleaning it up with the grinder, so I'll have a nice round edge to put a gasket on to seal to the bottom of the intake manifold. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's real easy to take this and cut it off and weld it together, and it fill in real easy. Good thick stuff. But that's for another episode. Right now, I think I'm doing really good, so I'm going to go ahead and try and just tack weld this thing into place and set it on the car and see how it fits. And if I get real ambitious here, maybe I'll go ahead and put that divider piece in that actually anchors it to the carburetor. I still need to find me a piece of pipe or something that I could use for, it's the wing nut spot on the top of the air cleaner that I'm bolting down. So yeah, it's going good. It's going good. I'm really happy with this so far. One thing I did learn is the thickness of the cardboard is a lot thicker than this sheet metal, and whenever I transferred the pattern onto sheet metal, way different. It's apples to oranges different. So yeah, it wasn't bad. I did mess up to where I messed up a lot of product or metal that I had to throw away. I actually was able just to trim down the pieces I had. So not too bad, but yeah, I actually had to cut things twice, a lot. So that's great. So let me see if I can get this welded. All right, everybody, let's take a look at this here. So I've got this pretty well made, and we're trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. I've got to figure out whether or not this is going to fit, or this is going to go first, or how I'm going to put a bead on the bottom of this edge to make it seal better. And I'm looking at the air filter here, and I really hope I can get online tonight and I can look up an air filter that fits better. Let me let you see how. You see this, how well that rubber fits right down in there? It's got a little rubber edge all the way around. Oh man, that will fit so nice and tight if I could get that to work. Now, for this to work, it's going to have to be actually this direction down in there. So this part of the filter element is sticking up into this void. So yeah, that means this is what the bottom edge of this was going to sit on, and it would seal the air cleaner to this flange I made. So a lot of that's pivoting on the fact that I can actually find an air filter the right dimensions. If y'all have any ideas how to do that, you let me know. I'd love to see how to do that. Anyways, looking up the air filters, well, I meant, if y'all know how to look up these air filters in a different way than just measurements, because it's hard. So that's what I'm looking at. I've got these extra little plates here. That gives me the idea that I can actually cover the back end and the front end like that, and I can have a filter fit this void here, and it would sit in like that. And that would be great. That would seal across there and everything, and as long as I can get it in there, and I will make an extra ridge. Let me turn this over. I'd make an extra ridge right across here to help seat on that if it's not going to have a filter run all the way up to here. So either way that goes, that's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get this filter to be my gasket. That would be a ton of help. It might mean that I have to cut off these 4 bolts and just have these 4 outside ones to bolt to. And I think I'd be fine with that. These 2 up front, I have these 2 up front, and these 2 back here, what actually holds this down. So yeah, let's take a look at that. I'm gonna move this air filter out of the way, and that sits on there like so. So yeah, let me throw this on the car. Let's see what it looks like. See if I didn't get something drastically off and make it tilt to the left or right. Somehow, I just have to cut some of this off to make it level out. But yeah, let's go see what this looks like on the car. So yeah, this is what it looks like. And if you look underneath, it's really hard to see anything with it so close. I was worried about people being able to see the welds on the side of it, but no, I don't think you're going to see anything. Yeah, so far I'm super happy with that. I mean, I guess I'm going to kind of have to, because that's how it's going to go. Not exactly center, but I like it. I like it a lot. It's gonna work. It's gonna work real good. So this looks like it's gonna be end of this episode, and I really appreciate everybody watching, and I appreciate some of the comments that I've received about how you like some of the stuff, and I like to try to improve the show best I can. Anyways, so next week's agenda, I think we're gonna try and if I can find a filter, that's going to save a lot of work. But I'm going to try to go ahead and make some straps for this. And I've got this idea, and I'm going to talk to some people in town, see if I can find somebody that knows a lot about this. But that hood that I have is expensive. I mean, with shipping everything, you're looking at $2,000. It's really, really expensive. This hood is just one of those special hoods that only came on big blocks. And I'm going to set this down. And it's this style of hood right here. This is the big block hood. Yeah, $2,000 hood sitting here. I don't want to cut a hole in it. There's been a hole cut in it before, but I have a game plan. Don't know how successful this is going to be. It might be worth it. I'm going to do some crunching numbers, but I'm thinking about making a fiberglass mold of this hood. And once I got the mold made, that makes me feel like maybe I can make more hoods. And it wouldn't be such a bad thing about cutting it up. If y'all got any good helpful points on that, go ahead and put it down in the comments. And everybody that's seeing this for the first time, hey, please like and subscribe to my show. Gordon's Garage here, and we're being real, and we're on a budget, just like regular Joes. Whenever you got a hard working job and you're out there and you're throwing a few extra bucks at your car. This all started out with it covered up, and now I'm trying to get it running and out on the street again. So yeah, let's see how this goes, and y'all have a good weekend. Y'all know I end the show that way all the time. All right, yeah, have a good weekend.